to A Pinch of Basile. I am your wonderful host with the most. I am Basile. Thank you. Imagine this. Anyway, I'm here with my wonderful and beautiful co-host, Janice Hermson, and our chief engineer, Christian Meyer. How you guys doing?
Great.
Doing well.
Doing okay? Beautiful. Don't forget, folks, we stream this whole thing live on Facebook. If you're on Facebook right now, you must be on Basile Fans. That's Basile Fans. And you can listen on the TuneIn app on any phone or device. Once you have the app, just search America Matters. That's right. If you're on the computers, go to americamatters.us. You can find us all about there. Hey, we want to hear from you. Just go to my Basile Fans page. Again, Basile Fans on Facebook. Like me, hear me. And then we stream this thing live every time. If you have any questions and or comments and you want to call in and be part of this, and I think today you just might. 844-790-8255. Excuse me. Or you can also text. You see how
Where's that cough button?
I'm pressing something, but
it's not working.
Yeah, it really is. And you can also text us. Janice, what is that magical text number?
Oh, that number is 775-237-2266.
Oh, my goodness. And listen, folks, for those of you who are like, oh, my God, we're hearing you in Australia. That's right. We're in Australia, all throughout the UK and throughout Europe, through South Africa. We are all over North America. Folks, that must be because you are not only listening to americamatters.us, but you're also listening to Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beat Radio.
The effects are just too much. That's why we pay the big money, folks. That's all there's to it.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Our guest, Mary Keliikoa. Is it Keliikoa?
Keliikoa. A couple of eyes. Keliikoa.
Keliikoa.
There you go. Come on, don't mess with it.
No, I love the name. I really do. It's a great Polish name. It really is. Mary
There you go.
Keliikoa. She's going to be with us at the bottom of the hour talking about her new book that just came out. So you're going to love it. I got a chance to kind of peruse the thing a little bit. Very, very good. I'm very, very excited for her that she's on the show. A couple of things. Folks, I'm going to make a major announcement on Facebook tomorrow about actual fundraising shows that we are doing. We're doing something a little bit different that I kind of invented that I needed to do. So I put it together, and with the help of Janice Hermson, thank you, Janice, for your help. What we're doing is we are going to go ahead and run something a little bit different, a lot cheaper, but it's going to be something that's going to be fun for your communities. For a fundraiser, listen, folks, can't beat this. And the thing is, you're going to have some fun with this as well. So if you're interested, watch tomorrow on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're going to make the announcement for that, and then you guys go crazy, do whatever you all want to do. Friday, it's always crazy Friday. Basile Fun Hour 18. Can you believe it, Janice? 18 Basile Fun Hours.
I can't believe that you've maintained that for so long. That is...
Well, I don't know. I got to be honest with you, Janice. I don't know how my liver is holding up, to be quite honest with you. I've been drinking so much booze, this Greek Tsiporo from this company called... It's Tsiporo. It's rock gut. It's in Greek. It's called raki. Raki. Roll that with your tongue. Let me see you say that.
No
raki.
can do. No can do.
No, come on. You gotta. I know Christian can do it. Christian, let me hear you say raki.
Raki.
There you go.
See,
he's very good at it.
He's not all that white. I'm telling you, there's a little Greek in that poor boy. I'm just telling you right now. So, folks, and then listen. Next week is going to be something new. Janice has her show following my show next week. Isn't that something amazing?
That's amazing.
I'm really excited. I'm glad that we can carry our wonderful crowd over to you. And I'll tell you what, I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah, that's nice of you to offer.
No, to be able to have tens of people, I say, follow you.
Well, it's better than my ones of, right? So we go from my ones of to my tens of.
Now, listen, between americamatters.us and, of course, all of my listeners who are from all over the world because they're listening to Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beats Radio. Greek Beats Radio. Greek Beats Radio.
That's right. But, folks, it's real simple. You're going to listen all over the place because these show, it gets played hundreds of times and it goes into thousands. And it's so much fun. And you can always go check us out at basillive.com because we have now little links. I'll take it right to the YouTube on old shows that we've had in the past. That's right. You can always do that as well. So we're very excited about that. The Basile, the Basile Fun Hour has just turned into its own crazy thing, but there's a lot of things that I definitely want to talk to you about, and we're going to get into it next section when we get back after our sponsors, but I'm not ready to go yet. But I got a chance to see Attorney General Barr today in front of the judiciary, and I got to tell you, it was the most disgusting, stupid thing I have ever seen.
Hey, don't hold back, Basile. Don't hold back.
No, listen, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Mother of God, if you're going to ask a question, get an answer back.
I would agree with that. Back. Yes, I would agree with
absolutely.
That. That was crazy.
I'm going to defer my time. I just want to defer my Listen, if you want that, have a press conference. Do that. Just say your piece and get done. Don't bother this man, this attorney general who's doing all the things he's doing. But we're going to get to that in a little bit. I want to hear from you, the viewing and listening audience, as to what we're going to do about this, because I've just gotten fed up. I was watching that, going back and forth. I'm trying to write a script. I'm also trying to write an outline for this speaking engagement that I'm doing. And this is just simply driving me crazy. Grow up, Democrats. Grow up. That's all I'm going to tell you. But I'm blocking. I know. Yeah, I just get emotional sometimes. That's all I'm going to say.
Not you. No.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know. But for all those who are watching and listening, make sure you have your questions ready for us. Folks, it's a pleasure to be back. I'm sorry about last week. We had technical issues with the air conditioning. And listen, you don't want to see me do this show with this beautiful face. I was like a bear coming out of a lake. That's how I look. It's not a pretty sight to see me moist like that. It really isn't. But I'll tell you more about that right after a few of these wonderful messages. Don't forget, folks, hey, everything better with a pinch of basil. We'll see you right after these messages.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Now back to the show.
Now we are indeed back. You're listening to A Pinch of Basil all around the world. That's right. We're in Australia, all throughout Europe, all throughout South Africa, all throughout North America. You can catch us even here on Basile Fans on Facebook. That's BASILEFANS. Spread the word, spread the love. And of course, you can always catch us on AmericaMatters.us. If you feel that you want to give us a call, you may do so. Have a question, you don't like my politics, you don't like the way I think, or, hey, Baze, you're right on with this. Let us know. You can comment on Facebook. You can also comment at calling this number at 844-790-8255. You can text us. What is that magical text number, Janice?
And that is 775-237-2266.
And don't forget, folks, all over the world with Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beats Radio. Beats Radio.
I actually like that drop. I don't know why. It's just the Greek in me. By the way, I just found out recently, and I think I discussed this one time, I am 92% Greek, 8% Italian.
Wow, what a combination.
Yeah, I know, right? So I can eat a gyro with a little slide of pizza, not bad. And also, it must explain the reason why I like selling protection to people. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of this. Hey, I'm not saying the place is going to fall apart, but things happen. Anyway, go to stories. Listen, folks, a couple of things. Today, I don't know if you knew, I was certainly aware because I've been eating them chocolate kisses all day today.
Yes.
And I love chocolate kisses. And today is National Milk Chocolate Day. So personally, it tastes good.
Find your chocolate. It's time.
I don't like dark chocolate. I don't like dark chocolate at all. But I do like milk chocolate.
Love dark chocolate. Yeah.
Do you really?
I do.
It just has this bitter taste to it.
Oh, no, it's the best.
Yeah,
not so much. Everybody's got their own thing, right?
Now, as long as you agree with me, you'll be all right. But, you know.
Well, that's not going to happen. Not on that topic.
Am I married to you too? I just was wondering. Okay. All right. And today is National Water Park Day.
Everybody should go to a water park today. It's warm outside. It's nice in most places. It's warm here.
Well, it was rainy. It was rainy all over the place down here in North Carolina. I'm looking over. I see Adrienne Roy. We got to get Adrienne back on the show.
I was going to email her this afternoon. I was thinking about her. She must have been channeling or something, right?
Oh, Adrienne, if you're listening, sweetheart, I want to tell you right now that we got to get you back on because we had some technical difficulties early on when we were starting to do this. And she has a wonderful book called Do You Know Who I Am? And it's about...
And Adrienne likes dark chocolate, too. So there you go.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There you go.
Of course, everyone, against Basile. Again, it's
Why
always
not?
this controversy. Look, I like milk chocolate, and that's just the way I am. If it's got almonds in it, I love Almond Joy, which is dark chocolate. I'll eat that, but it's got the coconut thing and with the little, almonds in it and stuff like that. I like that. I can do that. We got to go to these stories because I found these stories to be very, very interesting. And look, I'm looking at she's embarrassed, and this is Argy. She was embarrassed as an American about most of these representatives' line of fact finding.
I would agree with that 100%.
There is no two ways about it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, if you're going to ask a question, and I don't care if you're a Dem or a Republican, you're going to ask a question, you give an actual person the ability to answer.
Right.
If you want to stop the clock, like in chess, you ask a question, stop the clock, you allow the person to do that. They didn't want to do that. What they wanted to do was to make a circus. So what I'm saying, hey, Democrats, we're seeing right through you. And you know what? I was up in the air. I'm a little bit more conservative than liberal. I admit that. But, give a guy this. No, you turn me off. And you turn a lot of other people off. And the more you do it, you guys are going to get slammed on Election Day. Just letting you all know.
Is this a prediction, Basile? Are we doing predictions now? We've changed. How we've changed.
Yes. I just, I just became that way. I just don't know.
Okay. Well, we have this recording, so we get to see what happens, right?
Oh, there's no two ways about it. Someone said it earlier. Tuesday night, 11:35. They're calling it. Bam, done. That's it.
All right.
That's all I got to say. That's all I'm going to say to that. Okay. Anyway, the real story behind history's bizarre events. They say the truth is stranger than fiction. Open up a history book and you'll see why history is packed with incredibly odd moments, and it's sometimes difficult to learn the facts behind these strange stories. But if you wade through the silliness, the superstitions, the speculation, you can discover the real stories behind history's bizarre events. The Halley's Comet Panic of 1910. Now, were you aware that there was a panic with Halley's Comet?
I was, actually, yes.
Were you? Very good.
Yes, I was.
Named after.
And then in 1986, people were talking about that a lot.
Yeah, I remember that, believe it or not. In 86, there was supposed to be some type of cosmic radiation type thing that was going to go through, and I never forgot that. But, named after
it was a strange year, I'll tell you that.
Say again?
It was a strange year, that's for sure.
In 1986? What else happened in 86?
Oh, well, personally, too many things. So, but it was from more like from a metaphysical standpoint that it was strange.
So we're talking metaphysical stuff.
We are.
Okay, well,
we've never talked metaphysical, so I doubt that we'll have that conversation now.
No, I think metaphysical, because when you're thinking Basile, first thing, Basile, metaphysical.
Oh,
issues.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you'd get it. I knew you'd get it right off.
Of course. Named after...
Well, you asked, so I was just sharing.
Of course. My fault again. Edmund Halley of Halley's Comet only passes by Earth every 76 years or so. When it buzzed our planet in 1910, it sparked a lot of interest. According to the Weird.com, telescope sales skyrocketed as the comet neared. Hotels even offered special deals so people could gather on top of their roofs to watch the meteor pass. Of course, not everyone was pleased with the comet's appearance, as many believed that the shooting star would end civilization. This crazy idea came from the courtesy of Camille Flammarion, a French astronomer who believed that the comet's 24 million mile long tail contained a poisonous, a poisonous, is it a canogen?
Oh, I'm not looking, I don't know.
I think it's Canadian gas that would impregnate the atmosphere. I love that. It would impregnate the atmosphere and possibly snuff out all the life on the planet, but knock up Earth in its own little way. Okay. Unfortunately, the New York Times did a piece on Flammarion, whatever, apocalyptic theory.
Flammarion
encouraged some less trustworthy newspapers to run wild with the story. So in addition to the telescopes, people started ransacking stores for gas masks. I didn't even know that. Con men were killing by selling anti-common pills. They taste a lot like Pez for some odd reason. And some people worried that the comet would cause the Pacific to change basins with the Atlantic.
Wow, that was really something.
Yeah, my God, it'd been a rainy day that way. Okay.
Yeah.
One heterogeneous mass of chaotic confusion. Worried parishioners flocked to their churches, according to the science writer Matt Simon. According to the science writer Matt Simon, people actually sealed up their keyholes to keep poisons out of their homes.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Okay. When the comet finally passed, however,
we should just tell them to wear their mask.
Well, you know what? You should be wearing a mask, not because a comet is coming, but to prevent COVID. Just put on a damn mask.
Well, if they would have known that then, we could have just told them you don't need to lock up the keyhole. You just put on your mask. You'll be fine.
You know what? Greg Simone said the Challenger disaster was in '86.
Yes.
Wow.
There were lots of things that happened in '86 that were very strange. Very strange.
Oh my God, terrible.
Someday I'll share with you.
I would love to hear this story. Okay. When the comet finally passed, however, gas masks were proved totally worthless, as there was no poison. Sure, a few people were blamed the meteor for King Edward's VII's death. There is not a lot of science backed that to claim. Interestingly enough, Mark Twain also passed away as the comet flew overhead. That's extra weird, considering he was born as the comet last flew. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. What were the chances?
I've never read that before. That was new for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I've learned something today.
See?
Mark Twain, perhaps one of the most prolific writers we've ever had. And, he just, what are you going to do? It's just, if anything happened during a comet, please let us know. Call us at 844-790-8255. Please give us a call. But right now, listen, folks, we're going to bring on Mary Keliikoa. How was that? I pronounced that second I. Keliikoa.
There you go.
I love that name. And we're going to save these other stories because you and I were discussing Edgar Allan Poe earlier, and I'm going to save this story for next week. But politics, we'll discuss more of it. But, I don't like doing political stuff. I really, really don't. But today really pissed me off that they didn't even give this guy, like him, dislike him, let him answer the damn question. But you don't. Why? It's a kangaroo court. But we'll talk more about kangaroo court and all the other animals after you come back listening to A Pinch of Basile right back after these messages.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
We are indeed back with A Pinch of Basile. Call us at 844-790-8255. Again, 844-790-8255. We want you to chime in. You can also text us. What is that wonderful magical text number?
That is 775-237-2266.
We are heard all around the world thanks to Greek Beat Radio.
Greek Beat Radio.
Oh my God, you guys gotta love, Mary, the money that we put into our effects here are just unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. It's just, I don't know how we do it, to be quite honest with you. How we can afford to actually have that type of stuff. Okay. Folks, I am very honored to actually introduce our next guest. It was kind of funny. I don't like reading a lot because I can't read well. And, but the thing is, I got a chance to read some portions of your book. And ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Mary Keliikoa. Is that good? Is that pretty good?
Yes, that works.
Okay, that works. A Pacific Northwestern native, she enjoys the area in all its beauty. When she's not there, you can find Mary on a beach on the Big Island where she and her husband recharge. But even under the palm trees and blazing sun, she is plotting her next murder novel, that is. And I am very happy. Mary, welcome to the Pinch of Basile.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Are you kidding me? And right now, I was excited to see that you're kind of relaxing right now. Are you planning anything or just relaxing at home?
I'm relaxing at home.
Good for you. Good for you. My fans always want to know, and it's always, we love when we bring authors on. They always want to know, you became a writer. And so what are some of your influences that you actually had to be wanting to become a writer?
I think, just being an avid reader was part of that. And I worked in the legal field. So marrying the two, right? I spent a lot of years working with lawyers and doing some criminal defense, insurance defense, that type of thing. And then I was just an avid reader of Mary Higgins Clark, J.A. Jance, Faye Kellerman, just really loved all those novels. And one day I just thought, hey, I'm going to try writing something. And it was junk, but I kept going. And that was the thing.
How do you know it was junk? It could have been a masterpiece, for God's sakes.
Well, it could have been, but not in a publisher's eyes, apparently. So we shelved that and went on to write a couple more and shelved those. And then I struck gold with this one. So
fantastic. Tell our audience a little about your book. This wonderful book that you got.
Yes. Well, it features my PI, Kelly Pruett, and she's on her first case. She has buried her father and her marriage in the same year. She's the mother of a deaf daughter, and she's a little bit on her own. So she's working her first murder investigation. A client comes to her office looking for her dad and hires her instead. And the victim fell in front of a commuter train. And the question is, was she pushed or did she fall? And so that's Kelly's quest to find out.
Huh. Do you find yourself, really digging the characters that you write about, or do you sometimes hate them?
No, really, they're like friends at this point. I've, been writing Kelly. This was a 3-book deal. So I've been writing Kelly now for this book 1 and then 2 subsequent. I've been with her and I love, she's like coming home all the time. Yeah, I know what she thinks. I know what she eats, and so it's fun. There are very few characters that I dislike writing about because even the bad ones they're even more fun, I think, in some ways, because you can really dig in with those. But no, I love all of them. I
think my alter ego is always an evil person that always comes out. You always tell yourself, if that was me, the first thing I would do is I'd dismember their body, then I'd hide them somewhere, by azalea bushes so they grow up and have a little bit of fertilizer. And But I'm crazy like that. What prompted you having your character actually killed off by a train?
So I spent, like I mentioned, I worked in law, and I actually worked in downtown Portland in the high rise with lawyers, and I rode mass transit every day for many years. So, and it always kind of intrigued me that you could be standing on a curb and really be inches from dying on any given day. And just like the subway, I suppose, but in Portland, the tracks are very close to that curb. And so that just kind of inspired me to push her off and see what kind of life she was leading and work backwards from that murder.
If I can just
Well,
inject, hi Mary, it's
sure.
Jan. It just sounded so funny when you said that you're standing there on the side and anticipating that somebody could die in just a second. I don't know that everybody thinks that way. I think that's a writer's kind of thought process.
Well, I mean,
that could be true.
I mean, if you really think, I'm from New York, and I've seen people with the subways, and that is the easiest. If you really want to nail someone, that's the place to do it.
Folks are.
I'm not saying that you should do this.
No.
I'm getting.
Do not try this at home.
Yeah, I'm getting concerned now, guys. I'm getting very concerned about who I'm talking to here.
Let me ask you a question. What is because I know what the toughest part for me, and I write as far as I have to write very funny scripts, and I go and I move to a movie that I'm working on, which is a drama. What influences you, or I should say, what motivates you to get up in the morning and to look at your computer? Do you think about things the night before and say, maybe I'll go in this direction. Let me try that out. What do you do? How do you plot out your stories?
I show up, I'm very routine oriented. And I think a lot of that is just having worked in legal for so many years. I work best behind my computer. I sit down at my desk and my brain kind of kicks into work mode. So I work best in plotting with my fingers moving. And even if I'm going off in a wrong direction, I just start kind of in the general direction of where I want the scene to go. And then I just find that the ideas pop into my head, and some of them don't work, but a lot of them do. And I just keep moving. So it doesn't take much to motivate me to show up behind the computer. I love to write. It's part of like what makes me feel normal in a day is to go and kill people on the page and then, off.
Really? And my co-host was worried about me. Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm fun at a party. I'm always talking where to hide the body.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're a barrel of laughs. Okay. Yeah. A bottle of scotch and, oh God, here comes Mary. Give me 2 bottles of scotch.
Exactly. Exactly. But no, that's what does it. I just start writing and away I go.
I mean, have you ever got out of your comfort zone when you write? As far as like, I've been asked to write kid stories because I guess I'm childlike in my own stupid little way, or at least my kids think so. Do you ever go out of your comfort zone and actually go in a different direction sometimes for a little side project?
I haven't done too much. My love has always been mystery and suspense. So I stay in my lane a little bit on that because that's what I read. That's what I watch on television these days, So I don't go too far off on it. Yeah. Is
your significant other, is it your husband?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Does your husband, is he a pain in the ass to be around when you're writing, or does he go, here, honey, here's a cup of coffee, here, let me help you with this or whatever? Tell me, what's he like? Is he supportive?
He's very supportive. So I started writing when I was 27. We've been together since I was 24. So
wow.
31 years later, right? We've got a pretty good routine worked out. So he knows that I have a couple of hours that are just all mine in the morning, and he loves to work out. So he heads off, and not right now with COVID right now, it's been a little struggle,
right.
But he has his routine in the morning, and then we meet back up, about mid-morning, late morning and chat. So no, he's been very supportive. In fact, he likes to joke that I try techniques out on him for he'll tell people that how long does it take for him to turn blue,
Wow.
So
I'm going to try this chokehold on you. Come on, just lay down for a second.
But would this be realistic? He actually helps me with a lot of those types of scenes. I've talked to him about, okay, how would you get out of a door that was locked? And, we'll walk through a lot of that. He's been great. So
you have to be able to brainstorm with somebody, right?
Absolutely.
I love that because my wife will allow me the time to actually sit when I'm I like writing early in the morning because it's the most peaceful time. And so I get up around 5:30, 6, I do my run. And then from there, after I do that, but if I'm at the beach house, I like just to go ahead while everyone's asleep, having my coffee and just typing. If I can get a page out of dialogue, oh my God, it's a perfect day, It is, yeah. And then I wind up going back, to read. And after I throw like half of it away, I'm like, oh, for God, that was garbage. For God's sakes. Have you ever actually wound up writing anything and like you're maybe 1/3 through it and you're like, man, this is terrible. This is just not going the way it's going.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I find that the first 75 pages make or break the book for me. So I write at a pretty fast pace. I can do 2,000 to 4,000 words a day. So I know pretty soon whether the idea has legs is what I call it. Is it going to be able to go? But that first 70 pages is like the first act. If I can get to the turning point that makes the character all into the story, then I think I can make it. But if I get to that point and it's like, yeah, this is just not working, then I step away and.
And we're going to be right back and find out what else is not working, which I doubt anything else. Right after these messages, you are listening to A Pinch of Kinsey.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Oh, so glad you can join us back on A Pinch of Basil. If you have any questions for me or our wonderful guest, Mary Keliikoa, I'm saying that. Please give us a call at 844-790-8255. Remember, you can also ask us questions on Basil Fans on Facebook. That's BASILE FANS. Like me, come and join us. Watch here. We'll see what we're doing. And I'm telling you, just a wonderful guest. You can go to my website, check all that stuff out as well. But right now, I want to get back to my guest. You said something on the break that kind of made me kind of curious. You said that your artwork is done and it's been approved. Do you have any part of developing the actual art? Because a long time ago, Janice, as you well know, is involved in publishing, and we're telling, and she asked me if you would judge some of her covers one time for some type of a contest that we're having, and I said sure, and I picked the ones that were the ones that I would read that turned me on, and I said because the cover interested me. How much of your thought goes into that cover art?
Well, my publisher definitely asks my opinion and asks for suggestions of how I visualize the cover to be. That's been great. And I think a lot of times that happens. And from what I've understood from my writing friends, they've been asked for some different ideas, but my publisher has been great with that. So, and I don't get final approval. They always have the final approval, of course, but I do get to see it and make some suggestions and and have a little bit of opinion on it. So it's great.
Do you ever get upset when you've done covers previously? You ever get upset that they didn't pick the one that you kind of like more than the other?
Well, yeah, of course. Not upset. I think that's strong. But like this latest go around this was for book 2. They had a definite opinion on what they liked, and I wanted it a little darker. They wanted the cover a little brighter. So we kind of went back and forth. But, because to me, it's tone. It sets tone in the book, like Derailed has kind of a darker tone. And I really like that brooding cloud gathering type of feel. They wanted a little different for book 2, but I still love it regardless. I mean, it still had the general, it captured what I was wanting. So, but it's not always going to be, it's a compromise, right? So,
yeah. I can definitely see that. I mean, I would think Derailed is something dark. First thing I would have thought is something menacing, something that's a little bit dark, right? And I don't know if I really want a child walking through the fields, with sunflowers in her hands. Derailed. No, it really doesn't. Doesn't really work for me.
No.
So, but I'm glad that you were at least happy with that. Yeah, I know you. I told you I wanted to do this. What is your website? Where can people get this wonderful book? Where can they find all of your work?
Well, it's really easy. It's my name.com. So marykeliikoa.com, MARYKELIIKOA.com. And that has all my links. So I'm on all the, online retailers. You can order it from your bookstore if it's not in stock, Barnes and Noble. So I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere. Yes, you are. That's tremendous. Let me ask you this. Do you have things already in the future that you're kind of lined up that you're thinking as soon as this series is over? Let me think I'm going to go here.
Yes. Well, my agent is actually working to place a small town sheriff procedural, which I've already completed. And I'm about that 90-page mark of a new book in a psychological suspense novel. So, yes, I'm always thinking ahead, always. So, when you do your research, I mean, some of the research that you have to do, I mean, I'm sure you can get anything you want on the internet right now, Google, whatever the case may be. So true.
Searching for that. I do that. When I write something that goes back to a historical time, I want to find out when was Easter at this time in 1943. When was I always want to find out information like that. Do you go really, really deep? Because I think at least it brings a story together when you're factual.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah. And I've on one of my procedurals, I was actually Googling what time did the sun set on this particular day, and you need that because people will fact check you. There's no doubt about it. They know. So absolutely. And then I work with, I have a detective that I'm always working with and fact checking to make sure I've got it right on the procedural side. And so I'm always asking experts. So if Google doesn't have it, I've got some resources that I can email and check as well. So
do you wind up going with the flow as you're writing? Then you stop and go, all right, let me go back and see if this is all correct.
Yeah. So I definitely go with the flow and get it out. And then I see whether it works. Sometimes that causes me a couple of problems and then I have to rework that won't work that way. Okay, let's, do this instead. But at least to get the idea down and then fact check it.
I guess some of the things, do you, as people ask you questions about your wonderful books, do you ever get anyone, or do you wish that someone would ask you a question that you really want to talk about? And what would that question be?
Oh my goodness. I don't really can't think of anything right off the top. I think, one thing I love about my character is that she's kind of a badass, and I think, she has a whole different set of standards in this world because she's a woman PI versus a man PI. And I think that's been a fun thing to explore that I don't talk about a whole lot. But it's something I really value about my character is that she's in a man's world and she's, kicking butt and taking names sort of thing. But she definitely has a set of standards she has to go by because she's female. So it's kind of been an interesting tightrope to walk a little bit. So but that was about it.
Is there any reason why you made her child handicapped?
I really loved that it was community. I love the deaf culture in general. I could sign the alphabet since I was 8 years old. I've always really thought it fascinating. And then I had a friend who worked for the deaf school. And that was really cool because I got to hear the names of the children and the interactions she had with them. And I'd even been to the school and met several children that she worked with. And so it just intrigued me. So I wanted that kind of representation in my novel. And I really think in a lot of ways, Kelly sees her as somebody that she wants to be a great representation for. She doesn't want Mitz to ever feel like she's limited because of being deaf. And so that's really what that relationship is about, is really standing up to say, hey, you can be anything you want to be. It doesn't matter. Don't let society tell you different. So
beautiful. Is the father completely out of the picture as a divorced mom, or has he come in and out periodically?
Well, they have joint custody. So,
Okay.
And he's an obstacle to get over a lot of times. He's that old fashioned, you should sit behind a desk and type of thing. So him and his mother cause her some issues every so often.
Let me get this right. A mother-in-law is a cause for issues. And this is so difficult for me to understand.
I know.
So I have a question for you. Does the mother-in-law show up again in the next book?
She does.
Okay.
Yes, Arlene will be there.
Ah, all right.
Are you trying to kill her off?
No, that's a little twist there, isn't it?
I'm not. That could be a spoiler for book 2, so I'm not going to go there too much. I will say that Kelly and Arlene, they find their way. Like in all difficult relationships, when they're going to be in your life for a while, you find ways to work together. So I think that's important for everybody, right? Sometimes we all have them.
Listen, as far as you got it. And if my mother-in-law is watching, I love you, right? I'm just saying that sometimes people don't get together all the time. Okay. I know you love to read. Any kind of like real crazy hobbies you like doing before we say goodbye to you that relaxes you?
Well, I'm a golfer, so I love to golf. That's kind of my happy place. And I love to spend time at the beach and time with the family. I'm pretty simple. I have simple likes and, hang out with my dog, my husband, the grandchildren. Life is good.
You're a grandmother?
I have 10 grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something about being too sexist? You look freaking fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I should probably say that I'm a step parent, but I've been with the girls since they were 5 and 8. So I'm mom and I'm grandma and it's all good. So.
Oh my God. Well, you're beautiful inside and out. I can tell. And I got to be honest with you. I'm really excited about having you back on. Mary, you have been such a wonderful guest. Good luck with the book.
Thank
you. Again, thank you for coming on our show and dealing with my stupidity. And again, for my mother-in-law, if you're watching, I love you, right? I just want to make sure we have that little thing. So I'm so glad you can be part of the show. And thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, reminders, don't forget you can listen every week on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 Eastern Standard Time. We can be heard all the way around the world on AmericanMatters.us. If you miss any part of the show, you can go to my Basile fans page and watch it at your convenience, or download the audio at AmericanMatters.us. Again, I want to thank Mary Keliikoa for coming on the show. Questions, comments, hey, go to Basile fans. Let me know what you're thinking. We'll talk to you back. Thanks so much. God bless. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile. We'll see you next week.